Hello everyone, Zach Felling, Editor-in-Chief of Media Cows. I'm going to be doing a video review of Super Mario All-Stars, specifically the limited edition for the 25th anniversary of Mario. I'm going to be doing the video review in sort of two parts. I'm going to, I guess, briefly touch on the actual gameplay and the graphics, the sound, the replayability, and the story, what there is, of these games. Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. 3, and the Lost Levels. I'm not going to go too in-depth with that because, quite frankly, if you haven't played most of these, if you haven't played at least one of these, then I don't know that you can really be considered a gamer, at least a gamer of any experience, because most people at least have played one of these games. They're classics, and if you haven't, you should probably at least pick up Super Mario Bros. 3. The other part will be me talking about what's inside the limited edition, because that's what I'm going to be basing the review score on, is whether this succeeds as a good honor to the Mario franchise, the 25th anniversary, and as a limited edition. So actually that's what I'm going to lead off with, talking about what's inside, and you obviously have the game case. It's not an unboxing, so I'm not going to open it. And then inside of it you have a CD that has 10 tracks. They're all great. Almost all Mario songs are great. They're just excellent music in the franchise. The problem is there's only 10 tracks. There's 10 more tracks that are just sound effects, like you get a coin, you get a 1-up. And that's pretty weak, because it's like 3 seconds of sound. And, I mean, that's just really disappointing. I'm listening to it all the way through, and I'm really enjoying the music of it. And I'm excited when I hear my favorite tunes. But then it ends, and then you get just these short sound effects, which are fine, but there's just not enough songs included to properly honor the franchise for its 25th anniversary. I mean, you put together this limited edition, it's a special deal for Mario, and that's what you do. That's really feels incomplete. Also in here is a little booklet that's commemorating the Mario franchise, but it doesn't honor the entire franchise. It doesn't talk about Mario Kart, it doesn't talk about Mario Tennis, and any of those spin-off games. It only talks about the, Super Mario Bros., Super Mario 64, Super Mario Galaxy, those big titles. And that's a disappointment. It's a pretty thin booklet, and this is supposed to be, it's a 25th anniversary. They're trying to make a big deal out of this. And this is what they put together. A nice quality booklet, and I'm not going to say that the booklet's bad, but it's just, again, incomplete. It doesn't have enough content in there. They don't talk, they have brief snippets from Miyamoto talking about each game, but it's 2 sentences long, and there's so much more that they could do. They could talk about, they could talk about the interesting stories with development, how they came up with the Mario Kart series. There's so many things that they could have done to honor this. I mean, they are the ones that are making a big deal out of this being the 25th anniversary, and they put together a rather incomplete limited edition that really starts to have you question, should you pick up this game? These games are already available on Virtual Console, and you can get all of these games cheaper by just buying them all on Virtual Console on the Wii than buying this disc. So, as a limited edition, it really doesn't work. Now, for the actual game, the gameplay is what you remember Super Mario Bros. To be. The first game feels a little dated. The controls feel maybe a little bit archaic. It doesn't make it a bad game by any means. It's just, you might look at it a little bit differently after playing it. The other games really hold up, and they're all fun to play. There's co-op in many of them, and that adds to the gameplay experience, being able to play with a friend and compete and try to finish levels before the other person. As far as the story goes, one thing that I really found interesting was when I was young and I played through these games, I put, I guess, more story into the game than there was, because it's always been a simple story. Mario's rescuing Princess Peach from Bowser. But I thought there was more. Like, it doesn't even give you a reason when you're starting out for why you're doing what you're doing. It doesn't explain anything. I just found that interesting. I'm not saying that really ruins the gameplay, but it was just interesting to kind of see the contrasting views between when I played this when I was younger and when I'm playing it now. And maybe I wish there was a little bit more of a story explaining why, but I'm not really going to nitpick at that. The graphics have been updated slightly for the games in this collection. I, for the most part, like it. It looks better, but I do wish that they would have upgraded it more. I mean, you can see it doesn't look the greatest. It looks at least tolerable on the Wii. But I wish that they would have put more effort with, again, this being 25th anniversary, limited edition, they're making a big deal, that they would have put more effort into upgrading the graphics. It doesn't necessarily need to be really shiny, but just more effort into that. The sound, well, I mean, it's Mario. Great music, great sound effects. It's just a great sounding game, and it doesn't grow old. Like, it's just fun to listen to it. And as far as replayability, I mean, you can go through and you can play these games with friends, and they're classics for a reason. People are still playing them. So you should be getting these games. The big question is, should you get it in this form, in this limited edition, the 25th anniversary of Mario? And for me, my answer to you would be no, unless you're some sort of completist that you need to have everything Mario, which is probably a very few amount of people out there that are that way. You should probably just download it on a virtual console. You have a Wii, you're probably connected to the internet with it, and it'll be cheaper that way. The actual limited edition fails to me as a limited edition. It's Nintendo, at least from what I feel of it, just trying to get more money out of games that have been out for a long time, not really adding anything new to the experience, and putting a couple nice things here and there with the limited edition, the CD, and the booklet, but not really feeling complete, not feeling like it's an extensive collection of what the Mario franchise has been. I'm not saying that they're going to release it at the 30th year anniversary or anything like that, but what you really want is you want to play these games. You don't need all the shininess, the nice box, and the nice booklet there, because you want to play the games. Only if you're absolutely into collecting it should you get it. And so with that, I'm going to give the game a 6 out of 10. I'm not reviewing the games themselves here necessarily. That takes into account, but the limited edition is not very good at all. The games are great. They're Super Mario Bros. If you're really out there wondering, oh, are the Super Mario Bros. Games good? You just have to look anywhere and you can see that, yes, they're great games. You should play them, but just for me, not with this limited edition. Go out and find another means of playing them.